Welcome, everyone. You are watching Sports Trend, and we are again with the program Sports Talk. And today we are talking with amazing people from British Columbia of Cricket BC. We have an amazing panel with us, and I would love to introduce the panel. The first is I'm going to is Rashpal Bajwa. He's the Vice President of Cricket Canada. He's the past president of British Columbia Cricket BC, and also he is very interesting. He has represented his state team in track and field, so which was like amazing to find out. Um, Welcome, Rishpal.
Thank you, Farooq. Thanks for having me here.
Right. We also have Jim WENMAN. He is the president of Victoria and District Cricket Association. Welcome, Jim.
Like to be here. Thank you.
And we have Mohan Kumar. He is like from Surrey, BC. He's Secretary of Cricket BC. He's a chemical engineer. He also like works with the Thales and Best Buy. He's the Secretary of British Columbia BCMCL. Also, he is the was a wicket keeper batsman. Mohan, welcome.
Thank you for good. Thanks.
Thank you. And another we have is Yatish. DABHOLKAR, sorry. He's the president of BCMCL. He's been playing cricket since 2009. He's a member of BCMCL since 2014. He has served as the discipline chair. Also, is the vice president of a couple of years. Welcome, Yatish.
Thank you, Farooq bhai. Thank you for giving this opportunity.
Anytime. And then we have Harry GREWAL. He's the president of Vancouver Cricket Umpire and Scoring Association. I love umpires because they're the one who get all the the yells and disappointment, and so it's amazing to be an umpire. I told in the previous program, I only whole my life I umpired only one game, and I really sucked in that. So for that, and Harry he's a chartered accountant. He started umpiring since 2000, in 2005. He's a member of international panel of ICC Development Empire. Um, he has umpired in international tournament like Alberta Cricket Tournament Canada in 2008, GT20 in 2019, ICC tournament since 2011. So welcome, Harry.
Thank you for good to be
And
here.
his introduction is basically just not at all reflect on the work these guys have put on for cricket all over the place. So, once again, all the people who are working really hard for Cricket BC, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So, this is we started something new, like we out of Ontario and going all over the Canada and finding out what are the best things are going on for cricket. One thing I know about BC, like they have the very fantastic cricket ground, one of the most beautiful cricket ground in. So I would love to, from anyone, to hear about this ground and what's going on in cricket BC.
Uh, Cricket, as you know, was a national sport for Canada. So I think British Columbia has got one of the oldest clubs, cricket playing clubs here, and Stanley Park, which is one of the beautiful parks in the world, not only in Canada, but in the world. Uh, and on top of that, this is the prime location where we have a cricket ground, and the location so majestic that the cruise ships are going by, the float planes are landing, and you hit a six. If somebody like uh, Andrew Russell hits a six, he might hit the float planes going on top of the field. So it's such a beautiful, majestic place. It's been even mentioned in autobiography of Sir Don Bradman that that is one of the best fields that he has played in. So I think if I say that it's probably one of the best, the most scenic ground that we have in Canada, since I have traveled now to most of the grounds in Canada, and I cannot say any more words about it. I mean, it is. I mean, probably Jim can attest. Maybe he must have seen his father playing on those fields for Canada also. So it is one of the best fields. Anybody who comes to BC to watch or see anything, they should definitely visit Stanley Park and should go to Broughton Oval, one of the best grounds in the country.
Amazing,
Well, yeah.
amazing.
No, go ahead.
and Sports Trend is looking forward to do some coverage at that ground soon.
Oh, for sure.
So with that, I would like cricket BC. Like Vancouver is one of my favorite cities to visit, and if I get a chance to live. But like, I just want to know, like, what is the structure of cricket BC? Can anyone elaborate on that?
Sure, probably I'll just start with, and we have so Cricket BC is a provincial sports organization where we have around 130 teams, also about 45 member clubs within BC, Cricket BC. About 100 teams are from, there are two major leagues. One is British Columbia Mainland Cricket League, and the other, which is from the Lower Mainland, the other one from Island, VDCA. Both presidents are here. They, apart from that, we do have our member clubs. There are a few additional, they don't belong to the league, but they have a member club, which are also part of Cricket BC. So we have a high track record. We do various provide Cricket BC related provincial based events. We take care of player insurance coverage, and we also help to purchase cricket balls for the leagues. So these are all some of the highlights Cricket BC as a whole, the provincial body is doing.
That is great. That is great. So, like,
Farouk, just to add to that, I think the general populace would be amazed at how much cricket there is played in British Columbia.
Sure.
There's a tremendous number of teams and levels of cricket, particularly on the mainland. But even here on the island, we have 16 teams playing midweek cricket and another 11 playing weekend cricket. So hundreds and hundreds of young men and women, more women these days coming along, I'm pleased to see. And there is a lot of cricket in British Columbia, and this has an awful lot to do with the immigration from Commonwealth countries. That's much more important, unfortunately, right now than developing the game at the grassroots level in the schools. And I think that's where we have to put an awful lot of emphasis.
Okay, good. And I heard a lot about the Big Bash tournament. What is this all, the buzz about? All the players I talked to from North America, like America, Canada, they love to go and play Big Bash.
I think, Farouk, Big Bash is, if not the biggest tournament that we are having in Canada. I think we started about 5 years ago. This year, most likely it won't happen because of COVID-19. But 5 years ago, when I was the Cricket BC president, at that time, this idea was generated that we wanted to, the whole purpose of this was to get some international players in BC, expose the game to more people, and to generate some revenue so that we can spend that money on our juniors and the development program. And I think this, after I left, Bajwa, who's the president right now, he took over, and from 6 to 10 to 12 to now, we are even doing 13, 14 teams where all the international players are coming. Even the guys like who have played for India or some national teams in other countries, they have participated in this tournament. IPL players have played here. The prize money has gone up to about $25,000. It's only going up. And since the city here locally is supporting us quite a bit, so that's why we have two grounds and very beautiful grounds, and that's why we can have. Now we are running out of grounds that we can have it together. We don't have more than two grounds, and it's more like a festival. So I think all these guys have been part of this for. So all the 4 or 5 years since we have been here, Harry's been always there doing all his umpiring aspect of the Big Bash. Mohan spends like tireless evenings when Big Bash is going on because all the data work is done by him and Yatish and Jim. These guys from Victoria, Alfonso. I mean, these guys. This tournament has now become one of the prime tournament the whole province and the country looks forward to.
That is great. Yatish,
Yes.
BCMCL, right? You want to talk about something BCL, like what kind of, how many teams are there, what the levels are, how many clubs join, things like those.
BCMCL is increasing yearly basis. We have 30 registered clubs, over 100 teams
Wow.
playing from mid-March to about mid-September. We have our regular season where we play 45 over games for the lower divisions and 50 over games for the top three divisions. We also have mini tournaments throughout the season, by starting with preseason T20, and then on the long weekends we will have either six-a-side or T10. We have midweek T20 going on as well during the normal season. Uh, Help out with Cricket BC volunteering tournaments for their Big Bash and give them support wherever we can. We also have women's cricket. We also have junior cricket coming up very strongly. We actually have a junior team in our regular season as well, just to give them more exposure and promote their game. The Cricket BC runs high performance camps as well for juniors and the top division players. Uh, so we are busy starting mid March.
So just one more question is it all white ball color kit or it's a red ball white
It,
kit?
no, it's all ODI fashion, so it's all white ball and colored kit for pretty much everybody. We got away from the red ball completely now.
And what kind of
And
grounds do you have? Do you have like matting, trough?
we have one turf wicket,
Okay.
which is our pride and joy right now because beggars can't be choosers. We have only one. We love it. We try to save it. We do a lot of maintenance on it to keep it going good. We are hoping, praying that we will add some more. It all depends on the city permission and a lot of infrastructure. We have to get the soil all the way from Alberta. So there is a lot of planning that needs to take place for that. Uh, the others are all artificial wickets.
Great. Great, good information. Let's come to Harry. Harry, I want to know, like, what kind of things you handled so far on the cricket ground. You are a very experienced person, but I talked to umpires from pretty much all over the Canada, especially in Ontario. They got like some good threats to, you know, a thing happens in the ground. So and everything which goes against the batsman or a bowler, they blame the umpire. So how
Well,
many times you have to face these kind of situations?
it's pretty much always an umpire's fault, irrespective of what happens on the field.
Yeah.
They, when you come out to umpire, you've got to come out with a thick skin, knowing that you will be criticized, and knowing that you will make errors, and you've got to be able to move on from those errors. You can't dwell on the errors that you make because you get a split second to make a decision. And in that one decision, yes, there will be disagreements, and players do get upset about things. Um, and you've just got to be able to move on while maintaining a calm posture for yourself and managing people. I think that's one of the biggest part of being an umpire is match management. Decision making improves over time with experience, but match management comes from within. You've got to be a good people person and be able to manage people.
Great, thanks. Jim, what about you? How does the Victoria and District Cricket Association, what kind of structure, what leagues you have, how many clubs you have?
Yeah, well, we have two leagues. We have a weekend league, which is a 45 over league. And we have there's 11 teams there, and then we have 16 teams in the midweek league, and they play a shortened game, 18 overs, starting around 5 o'clock in the evening. A lot of them are very good cricketers, but they don't have the time. They've got family commitments, so they would rather play a shortened game during the week. And then the weekend league is composed mainly of young Asian players, and it's a 45 over match. Cricket is growing. We have more teams entering. In fact, Campbell River now has got probably 40 or 50 players that they're going to start up with. So whether they join us, they may well join us in a couple of years. Nanaimo has rejoined us again. So cricket is growing on the island. One of my main aims is to see more growth in youth cricket, but we're running out of grounds and space. And for instance, here in the municipality of Saanich, we don't even have a ground in this huge municipality, and the mayor is quite aware of this, and he's working to get us a ground. But it's not that simple. You just can't snap your fingers and get a cricket ground. I think I mentioned that when you're looking at Canadian cricket as a whole, and what's holding us back, it is the lack of space, the lack of grounds, and the quality of our grounds. Yatish talks about a turf wicket in Vancouver. It's really important because if you play cricket internationally, you play on turf, and it's a different game than playing on artificial wickets. And you have to have outfields where the ball can roll to the boundary. So as we are beholden to municipalities to cut the grass, often this is not done to the satisfaction of cricketers. And if you have to put the ball in the air to score runs, you develop very bad habits. So our top cricketers are at a real disadvantage when it comes to playing at the international level. And so we must put a lot more emphasis on getting our grounds in good condition so that we can play the game at a higher level.
Okay. Great, thank you. At the same time, are we getting some comments? I know I will just take some comments because then people will be assured they're part of the program. So Kaba Jet say hi. Purva say I'm waiting for BCMCL league to start soon. Great work by Yatish. Wow, Yatish, you got some paid promotions going on here on information us about the regular of BCMCL website and social media. Okay, and Kabajat said that we need to spend some money to cut grass. That's okay. Kabajat said Big Bash is a good tournament. Thank you, Kaba. And Kaba is saying a few of the pitches need repair. So these are the comments, and then any questions come, we'll take along. We're not going to shy away from tough questions. So people who are watching, they can ask their question. So the one thing I have to ask to Rashpal, I just remember that for the Canadian high performance, program, you're one of the in charge for the high performance program, right? To which develop kids or upcoming players for Canada national junior team and the national team, right? So that's so in that from the BC area, I know BC has been the cricket for a long time, right? So do you mind naming some people who really worked hard for cricket, and especially the players the BC produced, and everybody else, please feel free, if any name pops up in your head, because I know that we're not going to be remembering all the names at once, or so just please help each other for the names, please.
As all these gentlemen have said, cricket's been going on here for a while. The biggest challenge, there are some challenges in BC. First of all, we don't have enough grounds. As the number of people are growing, the cricket is being more, but we don't have enough grounds with the turf pitches. That is the biggest thing that I see when I see the BC boys getting selected and going over to Toronto for the national duties, and that's where the challenge comes. It takes them a time to adapt to all the things that they have. So, I mean, at the end, I mean, for all these players, our objective is to get the best grounds possible. The way one of the spectator was saying that it is the ground grass is not cut that high. So, I mean, this is what our purpose, no, whole objective is right now, to educate the cities, to get the grounds in shape, get the turfs more going. The grass is cut so that our players are playing ground shots instead of lofting the balls and getting used to the turf before they go for the national duties. Uh, as far as the players that have come from BC, there's been quite a bit. I mean, all these guys can add in to the players that they feel that I missed. But I would say, since I've been playing here, I came here in 2016. No, 1996. So it's not 2016. Uh, some of the players like Haninder Dhillon, Jeff Bartlett, these are the guys who, and then our own, the biggest, I mean, who doesn't know the quickest century scored by a Canadian in a World Cup? I guess he has the residency of Victoria, but from Australia. Uh, Jimmy Hunter has captained the Canadian team. I mean, he's been part of it for a while. JJ played for a while. Abbas was part of it. Recently concluded World Cup in under 19. Uday Veer had a really good performance. I'm looking forward to that guy joining the senior team in a year or two. I mean, he's one of the up and coming player from BC. And then there's been players like Bogi Dhillon's son. I'm not getting the name. Somebody can just remind me. He played for in Florida. So we have some players. Some of the older players I might not know. There are some older guys who, I mean, who have played for BC. But then again, the whole purpose, the whole thing is that we have good talent. I mean, even last year when Dilip Venksatkar came here for the Global T20 recruitment or trials, he saw the talent and he said, it's not that BC is behind Ontario or anything. It's just that the facilities are not there and the infrastructure is not there. And I think you will see a lot of players coming up soon. Ravi Singh, I guess you know him.
Yeah.
He plays for Canada right now, holding one of the prestigious record that is never going to be broken by anybody, to score 100 on a T20 debut. That's something that we will be proud for a long time. So, I mean, yeah, if you guys can jump in, Yatish, Harry, if you guys remember some names, please add on to the list.
Guys, feel free to name the names.
Well, you know, I played in a different era. And I would come over to Vancouver with the Victoria side, and we were always we were usually second best. And one of the Vancouver players who was our nemesis was a fellow called Gary Smee. I don't know how many of you remember Gary, but he was a fine young cricketer, and he learned his cricket in Vancouver. As did many of the island players. We were local. We learned our cricket at school, and the Incogs team that was very successful, particularly in the 80s. We were all from the same school, and we were all young Caucasian Canadians. Very, very unusual. So it can be done. Now we rely more on immigrants, and as I said a little while ago, you talk about the Big Bash in Vancouver. I think we should put more emphasis on developing young players. Now, that takes an awful lot of time. It's all very well to have these tournaments for our better players, but that's not really going to grow the game. So we need young women to be playing the game. We need mothers. These young women will become mothers. They will raise young cricket children. So I'm thinking long term here.
Sure. Harry, you were mentioning some names for the players who played for Canada.
Rashpal wanted to know Gogilud's son. I mean, that's Kanveer, who played for Canada. We've had Ben Seaburn, his son Barry Seaburn, who's represented Canada in the World Cups. Vivek Dharubra, Manoj David. BC has produced a lot of cricketers.
Any female cricketer from BC who represented Canada? Anybody know?
Yes,
So,
yes. There were a number of players from Victoria who represented Canada. No, I'm not. I don't want to give any names, but there's more than one. There was probably half a dozen from Victoria who represented Canada at one time or another.
Okay.
And we have some very good young cricketers here in Victoria right now. And one name that really springs to mind is a fellow called Jameson Franco. He's around 20. He's a multi-sport athlete, tremendous basketball player, tremendous soccer player, but cricket is his main sport, and he really needs to be developed and given a chance to play at a higher level. And I think if he gets some exposure, he has the temperament to be able to go a long way. And temperament is extremely important for a batsman. You can't just swing the bat and score some sixes and then the next over you're out. You have to build an innings, and he has that ability. So I would like to put his name forward as a very, very promising young cricketer for the future.
That's not now. I'm seeing quite a comments and question about the current situation. So how the BC is dealing with the current situation, and I'm pretty hopeful that like other provinces, you guys have a return to play guideline, or it probably is in process. And what are the situations? Because there's a couple of questions regarding the current situation. So anybody want to touch base on that? Then we'll take these comments and questions regarding the current issue, especially about the return to work, or sorry, return to play for the cricket in BC right now.
Sure, I'll just start with hopefully Yatish and Jim can add on.
Sure.
Cricket, return to cricket in BC is probably on track, I would say, for the early July or mid-July start. Cricket BC is in touch with basically the way how the guidelines or the process of getting our permit back. Here was the government of BC was asking to work with a non-profit organization called Via Sports. So they develop lots of guidelines for each generalized there for each and every sports. We just have to take the best out of it, and then want to develop that to the specific need and get their advice and kind of walk through. May not need approval, but just get their advice, and then start applying it to each city to get the permit back. So on that note, Cricket BC has developed an extensive guidelines package, which probably you can see that right now in our cricket. The way most of the cities are planning now is in two stages. One, they want to start with practice/training, maybe as early as possible. I would say third or within a week from now. Most of the major cities are considering, as long as each of these sports organization are go through the criteria what they set it up. So that's a starting point, and there are lots of criteria checklist they have they suggested us to follow us, which has been sent to the league members, and then in turn to the club, and then club to the players. One of the key thing is the waiver form, the insurance coverage. So that's been in a big discussion point in terms of getting our permit back. So that we have been working heavily with our insurance provider, and also getting their advice how we can tweak or change our current waiver form to add this COVID-related guidelines. On that note, I would say that Cricket BC is in track of applying or suggesting or asking our club members to start applying for permit maybe from now onwards, as we are ready with our guidelines and all the other criteria has been asked. Most of the cities are asking. That's the requirement.
Right. So just for my panel is you guys can see all the comments and question on the right side. So please feel free to jump in if you feel like that this question need to be addressed or need to be answered. So please feel free. So I think the Purva we just answer to Purva's question. Any update on park permits? That was just what Mohan was trying to explain. So the other questions also from Purva, like then how can Cricket Canada can pitch in for the infrastructure of BC?
So Pravesh is in action. See, Cricket Canada has an infrastructure fund that can be allocated to all the provinces, and it goes on different. We have to understand all the provinces and the territories have the equal opportunities. So the infrastructure money is allocated based on the request that is provided by the provincial body. And on top of that, it goes in a circulation. 1 year BC gets it, 1 year Alberta gets it, 1 year Ontario gets it, and Newfoundland, Nova Scotia, PEI, everybody has that. There's only limited amount of money that is allocated by ICC for the infrastructure. And as we know, cricket BC's part, we were funded with the pitch that was put in Abbotsford. And obviously, going forward, Cricket BC just has to send a request to Cricket Canada, and if they meet the requirement, allocation funding is provided based on that.
We can just continue. The second part of the question was, can Cricket Canada arrange pitch creator courses so the BC can have the local creator for the pitch in future? A quick response.
That one also I can answer that yes, that talk has happened in the past, that we will get a curator here. There was talk with the Surrey City that they were going to put some more pitches right next to the turf, the matting, and that is not a problem. Cricket Canada can accommodate that anytime. We actually had a session in Toronto where people were requested, but somehow at that time, BC, we could not send somebody from here. But yes, obviously to answer Pravesh's question, a course can be definitely done. I will pass that information to our president, and definitely we can arrange something.
Okay. Prayag is like, I'm really curious to know, is the future plan to returning back to the game? Yatish or any Jim?
Sorry, what is that question again?
Okay, I am really curious to know what is the future plan to returning back to the games. Can we please discuss if the match will be resumed this season? If not, there are players encouraged to play practice games. So what is the plan? Like when?
Well, it's all dependent upon the city. We have to get a permit from our municipalities to play cricket, and we haven't got that yet. I'm expecting tomorrow's Sunday, so I'm expecting that on Monday we're going to start seeing some permits given, and they may want to have a week or two to get up and running. But I would think that by early in July, I would expect us to be playing.
Yeah,
by the way,
every municipality is different across the country. Each province have their own rules and regulations. Just for BC itself, Victoria is doing phenomenally very good when it comes to COVID-19. And hats off to them. They've reached that point where they probably might open up much earlier as far as cricket is concerned than the lower mainland. And bottom line, it all depends when the city gives us permit.
Right.
As soon as the city gives us permit, we are ready to go. We have our guidelines in place, which was one of the requirements to get the permit. People think that we have guidelines in place. We've posted them on website, so we are good to go. No, we are not going to go yet because that was the requirement in obtaining the permit. That's just one of the steps that is required. Uh, Mohan and from Cricket BC side, and Rashpal from Cricket BC and Cricket Canada side has done a lot of work along with few others from other parts of the country to get the guidelines and get us where we are, uh, to a point where we do expect cities to give us permit. Like Mohan said, we do expect hopefully in July, but these are all hopes at this time. There is nothing on black and white on the paper. Unless and until we have something black and white on the paper, our insurance is also not valid. So if we do go play, we are playing against the legal authority, which could be in trouble, against the liability, which could be in trouble, and all the good work that our health department has done to get us to a point where we are talking about opening up. I mean, in February, we wouldn't even think about having cricket for 2020 at all. And within 2.5 months, we are actually talking about opening up and playing. So kudos to them, but we just have to wait and have some patience, exercise for a few more days. And everyone's working to get the permit. I'm sure the city officials also want the permits issued so they can get some funding as well.
The great. And like all some tough questions, but people do realize and appreciate all the effort and time you guys put toward the benefit of and promotion cricket. Prayag is saying, like, on a positive note, I appreciate each one of you of your effort in spending time and energy towards the game of cricket in BC and Canada. Yes, some I know, like, sometimes or maybe most of the time you guys have to hear like really tough stuff from other people, but there are a lot of people who really admire and encourage you guys, because I know, like, this is a volunteer work and it is your own time you spend for the benefit of cricket. So it's a good one. So I want to have a question for Harry. Harry, as the Empire, I think somebody is either their program is running because we're having some feedback. Um, so Harry, like, as an Empire, right? Do you have like a program in place to produce good number one good umpires, number one umpires, and number two good umpires, right?
Yeah.
And the second thing, one more, is for the return to play guideline. There's a lot of responsibility on umpires now, because and then looks like the umpire is going to be like a cricket police now. So how are you handling this situation?
As as far as developing new umpires, every year we we hold seminars. We go through the Cricket Canada courses. We go through all three levels: level 1, 2, and 3. Candidates pass the courses, but what we are finding is it's very difficult to to convince them to come out there and umpire a game. We'll have, for example, this year we've had about 60 umpires that have passed the courses. From them, I'll be surprised if more than 10 come out and actually umpire. And the reason is that people would rather play the game rather than umpire.
So are you not paying them, handsome amount to come and spend time and make some extra bucks?
Well, they get paid an honorarium, yes. But if somebody's trying to do this for money, I don't think cricket umpiring is going to generate enough money for it. You've just got to have a passion for the game. And what a lot of people don't understand is, if you want to watch a game of cricket, being an umpire is the best seat in the house. You cannot get a better seat in the house to watch a game of cricket than that. And you've got to develop a passion for umpiring, and practice will make you better.
Yeah.
As far as the current situation with COVID, yes, there's a lot of things that umpires are going to have to do. They're going to have to enforce, to some extent, social distancing has to be enforced. We are being told the keepers cannot stand up to the stumps anymore. So we were talking about this yesterday at a meeting. What happens if a batsman gets stumped? Was the keeper too close? Where he shouldn't? Was he standing where he should not have been? So do umpires wear gloves? We are going to recommend that umpires wear gloves, umpires wear masks. ICC is saying that if they see somebody applying saliva to the ball, the umpires are going to disinfect the ball. Again, I'm not sure locally how that's going to work, because no bowler wants his ball to be wet when he's bowling. And if I'm disinfecting the ball, I'm putting some amount of liquid on it as a disinfectant. So these are issues that we've got to watch out for. And I'm pretty sure there will be umpires who will be very skeptical of coming on to a field of play while the pandemonium is on.
Okay.
Yeah, well, just a point here. I wonder if in baseball and softball, what are they going to do with the back catcher who's going to be within 6 feet of the batter? So they're not. You can't play baseball without a back catcher within 6 feet. So why should we be expected to have the wicketkeeper back 6 feet from the batsman? I don't think we should. But while Harry's talking, I just wanted to say from behalf of the VDCA, Harry and Angus Melder come over every year and put on a clinic here. They do so at their own expense and their own time. And we wouldn't have umpires on the island if it wasn't for Harry and Angus. And I want to thank you right now publicly for all the work you do for the umpiring in British Columbia. Harry, thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir. We thank you for your hospitality. Every time we come over, we are treated extremely well. And
it's a great pleasure.
And it's just a passion. And this is the passion when we see people aspiring to be umpires, wanting to get involved in the game. That's what keeps us going.
Good. I have a comment, or actually question, like it's Harsh Dhawan. What is the league approach to deal with the violation of the guidelines they have set, since there haven't been any action taken against them? So what are you going to do? Like, it's question this previous program, almost every program, people ask this question, what are you going to do?
So from BCMCL's point, Mohan and his team has come up with the guidelines. Within the BCMCL committee, we will come up with some kind of penalty. It could be fines resulted, or it could be suspension of the games for certain things, like putting saliva on the ball will be considered as ball tampering. So the normal fines for ball tampering,
right?
The normal fines for ball tampering will be applied, but along with that, we may add more to it because we are in COVID-19 situation.
Sure.
So it might not be first warning, second warning, third warning. It might be just first warning, and you may not be allowed to bowl or stuff like that. We haven't done those finer details yet because, frankly speaking, I'm waiting for Mohan to tell me those guidelines are now written on stone and they are not going to be changed. So then we can either make it add some more to it on a local level. They may not apply to VDCA or Cricket BC events as well. But we are looking at it, and safety is number one for us. Safety of those two thankless people who stand there for 90 overs, in this case 40 overs, umpiring the game and trying to make law and order. Their safety is important for us. So yes, one of the recommendations we will be doing is asking the umpire to wear a mask, especially when he's on the main umpiring side. So yes, there will be rules and fines and suspensions being placed.
Okay, the next question is from John Jepson. If the local council allow field permits, will there be opportunity to travel and play outside each town? So, for instance, we based in Campbell River and would love to play game over the towns in Vancouver land. So I don't know how much distance is between, and Is there any law between that? I'm not sure. It's probably a local question.
I think Farouk, it's more to do with it's going to be based on guidelines.
Okay.
The whole cricket is going to be based on guidelines, and these are going to evolve as we get on the field, and new rules are going to be made as we start working with the new normal. So I think even for a local cricketer, usually when we go for a game, we all pile into one car and go for a game. Even that is not allowed. So, I mean, I think if they want to come from Campbell River to even Toronto, they can come and play, but they will have to travel in their own cars in a separate car. So, I think social distancing, whatever the health authorities are saying, we'll have to maintain those. Cricket has to play within the guidelines provided by the health ministry and formulated by Cricket BC and the BCMCL and VDCA, whatever. So the clubs will have to follow all these guidelines based on what they are provided with, and they're going to evolve as we play the first game. They might change. Some things are going to not happen, and if in BC they feel like it's not working, so they might change from the authority itself. Like we are opening up in BC, we have very less cases. We had only 19 in the last 4 or 5 days and one death in the last 5 days. So things are going in the right direction. But if we don't follow these guidelines, they might go in a different direction. We might have to shut down the cricket altogether. So yes, these people will have to follow the guidelines provided by Cricket BC, BCMCL, VDCA, Cricket Canada, whichever guidelines they are following.
I just got an answer for John there. John, you don't have to go to Vancouver to play cricket. I know there's a lot of cricketers in Victoria who are interested in playing matches against you either in Campbell River or here. And this might be a particularly good summer to do it. You don't have to go to Vancouver. We play better cricket here on the island anyway. So
Jim,
let's get into
that will be extra money for this statement,
come to Victoria.
We will invite you for this extra.
But on a serious vein, we're going to have bylaw officers watching us, and so we're going to have to police our games pretty closely. Otherwise, they'll shut us down. And so we've got to take this very seriously when we do start playing.
So there was a comment earlier. There was kind of question too. If there's any chance, because we don't know, because mostly all over Canada, the season is already started by now. It's supposed to, right? So it doesn't matter you get the permission in July or you get it in late July or August or mid-August. If any season happen, will you guys consider a shorter version season, or you want to stick to your 45 or 50 over format and have a smaller league competition? I don't know. Do you guys have any plan?
From BCMCL's point, we have got rid of our normal season for this year. It is only going to be T20. And that too subject to permit. If the permits come 2 weeks just before the season ends, there's no point doing T20. We may even have 6 aside. There is also a chance that a city might issue us permit a few weeks longer than the normal case. In this case, maybe end of September even, which will allow us to have more games. And we may have a season. So right now, the condition is very fluid. What I can tell from BCMCL's perspective, we do not have a 50 over or a 45 over game in 2020.
And then getting to a later part of September, that's going to be weather permitting. That's
Exactly.
one of the bigger problems we've had.
Yeah.
Is late in September, it starts raining,
Yeah.
and we can't have cricket then.
Yeah.
Jim, what about your league?
Well, I don't know about whether we're going to play 2020 or 45 over. The prevailing feeling, I think, is that most of the clubs want to do the 45 over. And although I haven't pulled them myself, I have a committee working on this, and I've pretty much kept out of that decision making, or they've kept me out. I'm not sure which is more true. But we tend to be leaning towards the 45 over version of the game at the moment.
I think there's some comments. just about the wicketkeeper can wear mask. Can a wicketkeeper wear a mask, guys?
Yes, of course.
Anybody can wear a mask as per health guidelines are concerned. In fact, everybody should wear a mask, whether you're playing cricket or not. But to answer that question, a keeper cannot, with our guidelines, I think what Mohan has said is the keeper will stand 4 feet behind the stump, which will give the 6 feet distance to the batsman who's at the crease.
Yeah.
I
So
don't think it's necessary.
So there was a
We will-
comment about Priyag. So like the wicketkeeper has to be stand back, and then it's
How
going to
does-
change the strategy. But
It does. It is. I mean, this current situation is going to change the sport of cricket, the way it is played. So, is that going to mean there's going to be changes in the placement of fielders? Yes, there is. Right now, for my slips cannot be. You cannot have a player standing at first slip and second slip because they are not 6 feet apart now. That might, and if that is what the province wants us to do, and what the health authorities want us to do, we'll have to enforce that.
Yeah.
If they say the keeper can't be that close to the stumps, if you
Well.
want to play cricket, we'll have to accommodate that to some extent.
no, that's amazing. We got a comment from Joseph. That thank you for your feedback. That we are committed to that to all the guidelines and look forward for the possibility of game outside our community, but on the island. But this year, if it is allowed. Thank you,
Boy,
John.
Good.
We do appreciate all these kind of positive feedbacks on where national transmission or international transmission. It means a lot for the people who really work hard for the betterment of the cricket. So thank you very much. With that, we have about 9 minutes left for the program, and we'll take maybe one or two questions if they come. And till now, if we have missed somebody's question, because like all the panels are reviewing the question, and if we feel like this question need to be answered, we already answered. But if we miss somebody's question, please redo the question, and we'll try to fit into our program. So I have one question. What is the like Ontario? I hardly see any non-immigrant or non-Asian players in Ontario, right? Or so what is the situation in BC? Do you have somebody who is like from Italian background or Irish background or other background or playing cricket? Do we see a trend there? The people are born in Canada and then playing, but they're not from the immigrant community or something like that.
I've touched on this. It's very dear. This question is very dear to my heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a local Canadian boy, not an immigrant. I think cricket's a fantastic sport. Let's just say it's the best sport in the world. Just come right out and admit it. But we need to get it in the schools. If we don't have it in the schools, it's not going to go where we want it to go. I think on the mainland, because you have so many immigrants there, I think you have a very good chance of getting it ingrained into the school system. Here on the island, it's going to be a bigger chore. The independent schools used to play cricket here, but they've pretty much given it up. And that is very, very disappointing. And for all those independent school people who are watching this, I would like you to put pressure on your old schools to reintroduce cricket to the school system. But here on the island, we have, I think I touched on this earlier on, our midweek cricket has a lot of Caucasian players from Commonwealth countries. They won't play on the weekends because most of them are married. They've got family commitments. Where during the weekends, our younger single bachelor type players who are mostly Asian, they have more time, and so I think this is why you see one of the reasons you see more Asian players rather than Caucasians. I think, is that getting to your question, Farouk?
Yeah, it is, and I think like in the weekend, just on a lighter side, the Asian people, they work on weekdays, to stay away from their wives, and on the weekend they try to play cricket to stay away from their wives. It's just on a lighter note.
But but just touching on that a bit more, Jim,
Sure.
on your point of introducing cricket in schools, I think it boils down to every sport when it's trying to grow. There's a dire need for volunteers who will come
Yeah.
out and devote their time to take this game to the kids in schools. And that is one thing that we truly lack. Even when there's junior cricket, not as many parents show up to the games to encourage the kids. If there's a soccer game on, you see lots of parents bring their kids and they come out there and they stand there and encourage the kids throughout the game. With cricket, what we found is even if the kids come to the sport, either they'll get dropped off or we are asked to pick them up from their houses and the parents don't make the effort. And we just need more volunteers who will.
It's a longer game.
It's a longer game, and we need volunteers to come out and spread the word.
There's socioeconomic reasons for this too. I think, Harry. Many of the Asian community are working on the weekends.
Yes, they are. But if we can get some more volunteers who will go to schools, we'll be able to introduce cricket to the mainstream.
Okay, I have a question. Maybe you don't have that numbers on top of your head. Do you guys have anything like how many schools have their school team, or do you guys have an inter-school competition anywhere in BC?
Yes, we do have a.
There are a number of schools.
We have a.
Yeah, go ahead, Rashpal.
We have a sports school league going on for a long time in Surrey. There's 6 teams they used to play. And then again, we had it in Vancouver. So school leagues are going here. It's not that it's not in the schools, not school curriculum, what they're talking about, but school leagues are there where after school activities, cricket has been part of it.
Okay.
So, I mean, it is there in the schools, but not to that extent. And again, to Jim and Harry's point of view, I just want to add one thing. We talk about sport. How many of the people who play cricket get their kids in cricket? That is what we are lacking. That's why the people who are coming new, they play. People who are here, their kids are going into the sports that are different, soccer, hockey, or whatever other sport. So that is what, if as cricketer, I can retain my own kid to play sport, I think we would have a lot of Caucasian people and a lot of other people playing this game. So that's why most of the immigrants, when they come attached to the game from their country. So that's why they're associated to it. That is one of the reasons that I feel like the people that are here, they got to get their kids connected to the sport. I should do a better job with my own kid. My son plays ice hockey. So who am I going to say?
Great. So we're pretty much reaching time. So what we'll take just last question, and then from there we'll just go for the closing remark. So Prag Sedek talking about just having T20 season. Why can't we consider having 40, 45, and 50 over matches if we get permit early in July?
Number one, there is no confirmed date that we will get permit in 1st July.
Yeah.
That is one. Second, it all comes down to safety. When you have a 45-50 over game, you have home team bringing lunches. So now I'm asking everybody not to bring their lunch because of safety.
So
Then you also have umpires standing for 90 overs because of 2 innings. And that puts umpires at the risk as well because longer exposure. And by having 20 over game, I will have 2 games a day, but I could try and squeeze 3 games if the permit allows me. That will give maximum number of games to the people, and you're looking at 3-hour exposure on the field. So you basically come, you already clean, your hands are washed, you're playing the game, you finish your 20 overs, you wash your hands, you do your batting, you're off the field. So your exposure outside is minimized by having T20 and ability to have lot more games for across all clubs, because I don't have to only think about the 29 clubs that are registered, 30 clubs. There's women's cricket going to be playing. There is junior cricket going to be playing. There is BC Big Bash, not Big Bash, but BC events. They might have a couple of events. So everybody needs to be accommodated. Hence, at least we are lucky that we are able to have some game. And one of the things we'll be doing when we do get a permit is we are going to have a mock game. One mock game just to see how the guidelines work out, where we will have two umpires, official umpires from VCUSA, so that we can all see how they work out and what we need to tweak before we actually open up the season for everybody else.
Great. Thank you. Thanks for your
Want
confirmation.
Sorry, I just want to add one more point to Yatish. Even if you get the permit by July, we may not get the full team
Exactly.
there, right? So that would be a big question. So
Yeah.
we may not get the teams to play.
Yeah,
Are interested.
Yeah, we may not have all the grounds available. Certain cities will say, no, we are not giving you permit. So we may not have grounds, and we may just have 3 or 4 grounds. You can't accommodate 100 teams on 3 and 4 grounds unless you shorten the version.
Good. In Ontario, they just increased the number of people can meet is from 5 to 10. What is the limit in BC right now?
50.
50.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You guys are way ahead than Ontario, man.
Till September, end of September, we still have that restriction up to 50 players or 50 members.
Okay, that's good. That is great. We have some good information. So what we're gonna do is we'll just take your closing remarks. We are already past our 1 hour mark. We are into the 51 minute as a live transmission. So we'll start with Mohan. Mohan, what's your closing remarks?
Sure. I just want to take this opportunity to thank Sports Trends for the wide coverage for each province so far to get the latest on the status of cricket season during this COVID situation going on. So hats off to you. You're doing the program is creating more awareness. So certainly that will help to bring our lovable sports of cricket into action as early as possible. Thank you especially for that one. And also, just as a closing mark, as our ever popular provincial health officer, Dr. Bonnie Henry, always say that be kind, stay calm, and stay safe.
Thanks, Mohan. Harry, your closing remarks.
Well, thank you, Farooq, for giving us the opportunity to be on the show. All I'll say is COVID-19 is teaching us how to deal with the new tomorrow and the new today. It's going to bring challenges. It's going to bring challenges to the way we play cricket, the way we officiate cricket, and we've got to adapt ourselves to be able to play here under these conditions. And who knows how long these restrictions stay on. So everyone, be patient, be safe. Thank you.
Thanks, Harry. Jim?
Well, nothing really to add to that. You come to Victoria, I hope you'll look us up, and we have some beautiful grounds here as well. Thanks very much for the opportunity to get together. I think it's been useful, and let's hope we all play cricket soon. Thank you very much.
I am really looking forward to come BC sometime and when the game starts. Yatish, please.
Thank you, SportsTalk, for giving us this opportunity, and thank you, Farooq Bhai. Yeah, we'll be happy to have you here, Farooq Bhai. And as BC stands for beautiful British Columbia, and bring cash, because we are an expensive province. And I would like to ask everybody, thank you for abiding with the guidelines that were put by the health department that has brought us here. And let's follow them and get past this COVID and play cricket. Thank you.
Thank you, Yatish. And now the person who initiated all these things and really helped me, gather all these really powerful and busy people of cricket BC together. Rashpal bhai.
Yeah, no, Farooq, again, thanks a lot. As everybody said, giving us the opportunity to get together. These are the guys who are behind the scene doing all these activities. Um, Again, anytime you want to do anything with us in Sports BC, now I've introduced you to so many people. You can do BCMCL, VDCA, or Cricket BC all alone as the independent things. As far as people are concerned, stay patient. And, these are pressing times. This is something that we all not did not expect that a year that was going to be called 2020, we'll be sitting at home, not playing outside 2020. So stay patient, stay safe, and hopefully we see you all on the ground very soon.
Thank you, Rashpal bhai. I just really want to thank everybody, from Mohan to Henry to Jim, Hitesh, Rashpal bhai, for this opportunity, and also for the people, taking their time out, watch this program, ask questions, put comments, because that is very important, right? Because everybody's interest. This program is for everybody's interest, and to find out what's going on with the cricket. Everybody wants to know what's going on with the cricket, especially for the people who have their comments and question. What I will be doing is, we have done with other provinces, I'm going to compile all these questions and comments and provide it to Cricket BC, and they on their website or Facebook they print. Um, like somebody is mic is open anyhow, so they can compile those questions as a question answer or a Q&A, and then put it into in their Facebook or website. So we'll have the record of all the questions, and we can be answered. So with that, everybody, thank you very much for your time. And as much as try to keep the program under 1 hour, it never happens. It always go above, but we'll try to do a better time management for that. uh, Amazing work, guys. And I did not share it. This is like one of the very educated panel I deal with. uh, the things they do, the education they have, it shows in their talk and in their actions. So with that, everybody, thank you very much. Stay safe, right? And be positive. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Farooq.
Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
thank you.